Hey, the long top 10s here. The Huns was a enigmatic and multi-ethnic confederation that controlled massive swaths of the Eurasian steppe between the 1st and 5th centuries AD. They swept in from the east, displacing entire civilizations in their wake. Almost nothing is known of these mysterious warriors. What few historical accounts is known to survive are predominantly anti-Hun propaganda. Now, to this day, guys, just remember, to this day, their origin, language, and impact shall remain shrouded in mystery. So that's why for this list, we put it up the 10 incredible mysteries of the Huns. Alright, so first off, number 10, we start off with the Scourge of God. Now, Attila the Hun has known been in the West as a Scourge of God. This was propaganda against the pagan king of an empire that stretched from the Black Sea to France. Historian Jordanes referred to Attila as a lover of the war, yet restrained in action, mighty in council, gracious to suppliants, and lieutenant. According to Prescus, he was also a man of his word. From 440 AD onward, Attila refused to attack the Romans, as they were paid their yearly tribute of 700 pounds of gold. Attila was born sometime in the 5th century into a Hunnic royal family. As a child, he was trained in horsemanship, archery, lasso, and military strategy. However, he also mastered Latin and Gothic so that he could do some business with his neighbors. Reports describe Attila as dressing simply, without any ostentation, and while he entertained guests with fine meals served on silver plates, Attila only ate meat off wooden planks. What a poor him. Alright, we go into number 9 with Hunnic language. Alright. So, according to the historian Peter Heather, we do not know what language the Huns spoke and probably never will. Many believe Hunnic was a Turkic language. However, at the time of Hunnic expansion, this language family was restricted to Central and Eastern Asia. Scholars have attempted to analyze the Hunnic tongue through names of peoples, places, and tribes. However, most of these monikers come from a period where Germanic had become the lingua franca of the Huns. Chinese annals state that Hunnic was very similar to the language of the Tuls, a Turkic tribe. Modern Chinese researchers define it as a Proto-Altic language. The Bayesians claim that Hunnic was the same as the language of the Avars, Bulgars, and Sekulars, the latter of whom claimed descent from European Huns. Others believe Slavic speakers are the true inheritors of Hunnic. The reality is that the Huns' enigmatic language is preserved across many Eurasian steppe tongues. Just think about it. Alright. Next up, number 8 is Xiongnu. Alright. Now, between 300 BC and 450 AD, a mysterious group of steppe warriors known as the Xiongnu terrorized China. Repeated invasions by these barbarians prompted the construction of fortifications that would become later known as the Great Wall. To this day, the identity of the Xiongnu remains a mystery. The prevalent theory holds that they were Siberian Mongols. Others believe that they were either Turkic, Tocharian, Urak, or some mangling of all these. Now, one theory holds that the names Xiongnu and Han have the same origin. In 129 BC, a war broke out between the Xiongnu and the Han Empire. Eventually, the Han won, destabilizing the kingdom of their northern neighbors. The Xiongnu faced civil war between 60 and 53 BC. In 1889, after the Battle of Inkbayan, the southern Xiongnu became part of the Han Empire, while the northern Xiongnu were expelled from Mongolia. Some believe they continued west, where they become the Huns. We go into number 7 with the Hunnic war machine. This one is totally a beast, guys. But the Huns were among the most feared horsemen to ever cross the steppes. Their cavalry consisted of horseback archers made up of lesser nobles and their retainers. They wore loosely woven garments and light armor, with either sold on scales or linked plates. Accounts state that the armor could sustain blows from the front, but was vulnerable around the armpits, suggesting a sleeveless design. The majority of Huns were simply equipped. Alright, sorry about the noise, guys. We will turn that off, alright? So, the majority of Huns were simply equipped. Nobles and missionaries could afford more outlandish garb and gear, alright? Now, during the 4th century, the Huns pushed westward. First, they encountered the Alans, who they decimated. The Huns incorporated the few surviving Alans into their ranks and continued on to the lands of the Goths. In the 370s, the Huns demolished the Goths, and Guruthanga King, Irmanric committed suicide. The Huns pushed the Goths up to the banks of the Danube, right on the Roman Empire's doorstep. Number 6, Hunnic Stonehenge. Alright, everybody knows this Stonehenge in England, right? Well, in 2016, archaeologists announced the discovery of a 1,500-year-old stone complex in Kazakhstan built by the Huns. Located on the Caspian Sea's eastern shore, Altan Kazakh is larger than 200 American football fields. The site's smallest stones measure 4.2 meters by 4.2 meters, or 14 feet by 14 feet. Now, the largest are astronomical, reaching 112 feet by 79 feet. Carvings and creatures and weaponry adorn select stones. Researchers also discovered a silver saddle cloaked on images of deer, wild boar, and mysterious beasts of prey. Researchers believe the designs, or tamgas, as they're called, were initially carved into leather before they were glued to wooden boards. Finally, silver plates were laid over the shapes. The site was initially found by a local man using a metal detector in 2010. Now, researchers also discovered 2 bronze pieces, which were probably part of a whip. At the time the complex was built, the Huns were migrating across the steppes, from homelands in the east toward Europe. Number 5. Attila the Hoax. Alright. In March 2014, archaeologists announced that they had found the tomb of Attila the Hun. Construction workers laid the foundations for a bridge in Budapest, Hungary, discovered an ancient burial chamber. The 6th century sepulchre contained horse skeletons, a sword of meteoric iron, and various Hunnic grave goods, along with human remains. According to historian Albrecht Runstein of Budapest's Laurent Etavos University, the find was absolutely incredible, and definitely seems to be the resting place of the almighty Attila. A slight problem, though. First, there is no Albrecht Runstein, and the remains belong to a Chinese Ming-era mummy. The story was a promotional stunt by fake news site World News Daily Report. Ancient accounts indicate that Attila died on the night of his wedding to Gothic princess Ildiko. Alright, now, according to legend, his men diverted a river and buried Attila in the riverbed. Now, the workers were then slaughtered to keep the grave's location a mystery. Number 4. Deep Native American connections. While investigating the impact of Huns on European DNA, researchers discovered that haplotype Q was a likely genetic core of these Asian invaders. The Huns were predominantly carriers of Q1b and Q1a2y chromosomes. Native Americans are predominantly Q1a3a. Alright, now this suggests that Huns and Native Americans share an ancestor from about 18,000 years ago, most likely from the Alto Mountains. Not every Hun was Q. Accounts note that they were a multi-ethnic confederacy. What's more, not every European in the Q group is descended from Huns. The Q haplogroup appears predominantly in Sweden as a result of spreading northwest out to Serbia. Unlike the Mongols, the Huns did not have an Asian homeland to return to. As a result, They assimilated into the cultures they encountered and left descendants across the steppes in Eastern Europe, Q1b and Q1a2 cluster just east of the Rhine and north of the Danube corresponded to Hunnic territories. Number 3. White Huns. Alright. In the mid-5th century, Central Asian warriors known as the White Huns descended upon the Indian subcontinent. Until the arrival of Muslim conquerors in the 1100s, these Huns became the ruling class of Pakistan and northern India. The foreign conquerors were absorbed into Hindu culture. However, the Hun invasions broke the local chain of historical tradition. Some sources go far as to say no authentic family or class traditions go back beyond the Huns. Little is known to these White Huns. Most Chinese sources trace their origins to southern Kazakhstan. Sorry guys, this country is like a tongue twister if you think about it. This traces their origins to southern Kazakhstan. Others indicate central China. In the 6th century account by Procopius of Caesarea, they were a Hunnic in both stock and name. Most believe that white does not refer to complexation, but rather to geographic orientation. The northern Huns were known as the Black Huns. The southern Huns were known as Blue and Green. And the White Huns came from the west, obviously. Number 2. Hungary and the Huns. Or Huns, excuse me. Every 2 years, the Hungarian village of Bogok holds a summer festival known as Kurultai. Alright, in 2016, this tribal assembly of Hun-Turkic nations saw 250,000 attendees from around the world. However, the festival was primarily attended by Hungarians, proud to celebrate their deep connection to the East. The Magyar, originally from Central Asia, settled Hungary around 900 AD, 4 centuries after the death of Attila. However, Hungarian lore has long maintained that the Magyar were descendants of the Huns. In the 19th century, the idea the Hungarians have Central Asian origins developed into a movement called Atarianism. Its roots were deeply political and were used as ammunition in the struggle for the nation to liberate itself from the Germanic Habsburg Empire. To this day, Attila is considered the father of the Hungarian nation. Attila the ancestor theory is far more glamorous than the competent idea that obscure Finno-Ugric tribes gave rise to modern-day Hungarians. We go on to number 1, guys, with the Umakor collar. Alright, now, in December 2014, the Kazakhstan Ministry of Culture said that they have found a 5th century Hunnic gold collar recently sold by the Sotheby's have been taken from the country illegally. On December 3rd, the Umakor collar sold for a staggering $380,000. Alright, Zanzibar Umakor acquired the woven gold necklace set with glass and garments around 1890. The highest status artifact with dragon head terminals remains in his family's collection in Bratislava in Slovakia until 2013. His Hunnic jewelry is extraordinarily rare. Alright, finding a complete royal collar in the homeland of the Huns is nothing short of spectacular. The Huns introduced dragon and beast head terminal necklaces and torques with their expansion west. This style of jewelry has popped up from Central Asia to the Carpathians. Huns were master goldsmiths. However, they relied on imported pre-cut stones, like the ones in the Umakor collar. It is unknown whether the piece is intended for a man or a woman. Alright guys, that is it. If you have any other mysteries about the Huns that I did not mention in this video, just let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and support me on Patreon via the link in the description. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time.